In today's video, I'm going to be creating two Christmas cards using the brand new card kit from Gina Designs. I'm going to be focusing today's video on the Trim a Tree stencil that is in the kit. Now, these kits are always so jam-packed, and Gina held nothing back with that. So this is a look at a little something card kit. We have stamps, dies, coordinating dies, stencils, and embossing folders. So, just like the name of the card kit, there really is a little something for everyone in this kit. If you're interested in any of the supplies that I'm using today, I'm going to have them linked down below in the video description and over on my blog. These kits, especially the Christmas ones, sell out really quick. So, if you are interested in this, I would not hesitate on grabbing it. Something else brand new that's being released are these new sparkle gels. So this is the emerald and 14 karat. There is also sterling and ruby. Now keep in mind, this is actually a gel. So it is a clear consistency with glitter in it, meaning it is going to be transparent. This is something that you're going to want to have kind of a color down first. Add that over the top, and that's going to give you a glittery look. Also being released are three new pastes. We have silver, white, and gold. So these are opaque, meaning that it is not going to show through what is underneath. Now, here's a look at the Trim a Tree stencil that I'm going to be using today. I absolutely love this stencil. I made a ton of trees with this. There are two layers to create the actual tree itself. And then there are different areas of the stencil to create different size ornaments, different shaped ornaments, or even some garland to hang on your tree. And there's also an area for a tree skirt. And then there's different tree toppers that you could put there too. There's a coordinating die for the tree and the tree toppers. The first thing I did was use the coordinating die and die cut out a bunch of trees from white cardstock. I'm going to be using the Gina Designs layering weight white cardstock, and I placed it on top of a sticky mat. This is the Gina Designs double background grip mat 1. It's holding my cardstock in place and the stencil, which is really, really helpful. So I lined up the first layer of the stencil, and I am ink blending with Jelly Bean Green. Just going to lay down a nice layer of color there and then line up the second part of the tree. It is really easy to line up. When you are arranging it, you just want to make sure there's no white space. That means you're going to be off a little bit. So as long as all of the green is covered and you're lined up with the edges of the stencil or the design, then I'm going to come in with a fresh asparagus. And I am using a mini blending brush to do that so I can apply a heavier amount of ink with those finer or more compact bristles. I can then go ahead and do my tree skirt, which I am sticking to just some classic colors today. I will show you a variation that I did a little later on. For this, I'm going to use some red velvet, again, using a mini blending brush. Now be really, really careful. I should have put some Post-it tape above the stencil to cover the rest of my tree. I got a little smidgen of red on the edge of my tree, but hopefully nobody notices. Now you can pick and choose if you want to leave your tree plain or if you want to add the ornaments. I'm going to go with the circle ornaments. So I am again placing that area of the stencil over my tree, and I want to use some sparkle gel. So I first need to lay down some color just using that same red velvet that I used before. Once I have all of those circles filled in, I'm going to wipe that down with a rag, and I'm going to bring in the ruby sparkle gel. So as I mentioned earlier, this is kind of transparent. So when it dries, it's going to be clear with glitter in it, but it is absolutely gorgeous and it smells really good. So I am just taking that out with a palette knife and spreading that over the open areas. Don't push too hard on your stencil because of that thinner consistency. You could push it under your stencil. Now I'm going to wipe my palette knife clean with a baby wipe. I'll take the stencil over to the sink, wash it off right away. But once this dries, it is going to just be a nice red glittery ornament. So I'm removing the design from my sticky mat using my pick and stick tool, just carefully lifting that up, and I'll set that off on the side to dry. Now here's a look at some more designs that I had done just in different shades. I did some more of the jelly bean green with the fresh asparagus. I did one in sea glass and turquoise sea, and I did some in spruce colors. This is one where I used the white paste and the silver sparkle gel combined. And I did some more with the gold paste with the gold sparkle gel over the top. So I was really just experimenting, using them on their own and mixing them together. This is one you can't see it very well on screen, but it is clear. And that's because I used Fuse foiling gel and I plan on foiling that in the future. I'm going to do one more here for you on screen because I want to show you what the paste looks like. Now, paste is thicker than a sparkle gel, and it's also going to cover that entire open area. So you're not going to be able to see the tree part underneath your paste. So I just wanted to show you the difference between the sparkle gel and the paste. I will set that off on the side to dry. And I'm going to work on my first card project. I have a piece of white cardstock cut to 4¼ by 5½, and I trimmed out an oval in the center using the oval shadow shaker die. Now I'm going to ink blend a background here to be behind my oval. I was picturing kind of a wintry scene back here. I really didn't need to use this many inks because you don't end up seeing that much of the ink, but this is the process I went through. I started with sea glass ink. Then I came in with blue raspberry, which if you have blue raspberry in your collection, dig that out because it is such a gorgeous blue. And then I came in with blue denim. So every now and then I would bring in that oval frame to see how much ink is actually showing. You can see here there's not a lot. I kind of really wasted a lot of ink on the outside edge. You really don't need a lot. You just want something around that outer edge because our tree is also going to be in there and cover it a bit. So I brought in a little bit more blue denim to make that darker in the background. Now, originally, I was just going to pop everything up and place my tree in the center, but decided why not turn this into a shaker window? So I flipped my panel over and I'm adding some double-sided tape all the way around my edges. This is double-sided tape from Altenew. You just want to make sure that you have some nice coverage going all the way around your edges. And then I'm going to remove the backing of that and place some acetate over the top. This is acetate from Hero Arts that I trimmed down to fit my panel. Press that down really well to secure that. So that's going to be our window. Next, I'm going to bring in some foam strips. These are from Gina Designs. They are a fantastic depth. I don't remember what the depth is. You'll have to check the website, but they are fantastic for shaker cards. So I'm using the strips and I'm going to go all the way around to the edges. And when you line up those foam strips, make sure they are butted up right next to each other because we don't want any of our shaker bits to get out. We want this to be a nice shaker well for our bits. And as I was building my well, I had already decided that I wanted to use the micro disco balls because I know they're super, super shiny. But before I do any of that, I'm splattering my background with some water mixed with some white paint just to have those constant in the background because our shaker bits are going to move. So I wanted something that's going to be constant. And then I'm going to just hit that with the heat tool to dry that off. I don't want that to smear once I start putting the shaker card together. This is the micro disco balls. So I added about 3 scoops into my window. Make sure they are not stacked on top of each other. And then I had these iridescent stars in my drawer. So I thought, why not? We'll throw those in. I'm going to remove the backing of those foam strips, flip my blended panel over, and I always start with the bottom left-hand corner. I make sure that those edges are even, and then I press down really well up against that foam tape. So now I have this absolutely magical window. Those disco balls, they really add some magic to your cards. I almost forgot to add my tree topper. Now, off screen, I did the same process with my tree topper. I die cut it out first. I ink blended with the stencil and I think dandelion ink. And then I went over it with the gold sparkle gel. So that was my tree topper I added. And I picked out the tree where I have the white paste mixed with the sterling sparkle gel. And I added that to the front of my panel using thin foam squares. So I was a little off when I was attaching everything. So I'm just going to trim off any of that excess so you don't see that on the side or on the top. And off screen, I went ahead and stamped a small sentiment that says Merry Christmas. This is from the brand new stamp set Tis the Season, filled with a ton of Christmas sentiments, and it has coordinating dies. Now, I didn't realize it until I was playing with my shaker card that this kind of looks like a snow globe because of that tree skirt, and I loved it even more. Now, for my second card, I had a ink blended panel on my back shelf, and this was using the circle stencil and also the Harvest of Happiness. It's a lot to remember. It Harvest of Happiness. It was from the last kit, which should be available now for sale. And I thought, why not have a moon in my background? So I am stamping this Santa silhouette. This happens to be from the Cozy Winter Wishes stamp set, which is also brand new in this release. So I have my Santa kind of flying across the moon. I'm also going to splatter this with some of that white paint. And off screen, I had really played around with the idea for this card. I did lots of different die cutting and finally kind of landed in an idea. And one of the ideas was using this frame from Master Layouts 20. I started by die cutting it from Whisper cardstock, which gave me that opening there that you see my Santa. Then I die cut that window from white cardstock. I layered two of those frames together for dimension. I'll go ahead and add this Whisper cardstock with the opening to the front of my blended panel. It's kind of looking a little odd right now, but bear with me. Then I'll go ahead and add the liquid glue behind my stacked frame, add that to the opening. And that is like I'm looking from the inside of a house out, and I see Santa out there flying across that moon, which is just gorgeous and fit perfectly in that window. Now, I want to add my tree, but I need to ground it. So I just trimmed out a piece of cardstock. This is skeleton leaves to use as my floor. And then I have another tree that I'm adding kind of off on the side of the window and slightly hanging off the edge of the card. Then I have a sentiment. This is from the Let Your Light Shine. So this was a previous release. I foiled it and die cut it out with the coordinating die, and I thought it just worked perfectly with my scene with the Santa, the Christmas tree. I was just so excited how these two cards turned out. Definitely wasn't quite what I thought I was going to make, but came out way better. So you'll have to let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite. Is it the Santa silhouette and moon or is it the shaker card? I don't know if I could pick. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's inspiration using the brand new card kit from Gina K Designs. All of the supplies are linked down below in the video description and over on my blog. Here is another video that you may enjoy.